Hi there. It can be a real challenge to find good value in Burgundy. One place that you can do that, if you're looking for white wines, is Pouilly Fuisse. So this is Le Vieilles Vignes from Vincent Girardin. It's a 2020 vintage. As with wines from the Cotes de Beaune, we're looking at Chardonnay. Very much as with the Cotes de Beaune, the terroir here, limestone. So 5 villages just to the west of Maconnais are entitled to this appellation, and they have this better terroir than the rest of the Maconnais, and some good exposure. So if you get a producer like Vincent Girardin, for whom quality is their raison d'etre, and you can find them using a top quality vineyard like this one, for instance, has vines that are 75 years old, and then the production approach is very typical. The wines are allowed to ferment using their own natural ambient yeasts. They undergo malolactic conversion using natural bacteria. They age in oak, but the oak, larger seasoned oak with a tiny proportion new. The wines age for about a year with their yeast lees, but those aren't stirred up. So the leesy notes, the buttery, butterscotchy notes don't overtake the fruit in the wine. So I'm expecting a balanced wine from somebody who has ensured that the fruit quality will be the highest possible by working really closely with growers, making sure that the vineyards are managed, that yields are maintained low, and that harvest is timed correctly and sorting goes on at harvest. Yes, the entire ethos of that Vincent Girardin built up with his domain is geared towards producing quality. So a top quality producer, a good fruit source, really good way to get great value for money. So let's see if what I'm saying is borne out by the wine, shall we? Colour-wise, you have a pale, almost greenish notes to the yellow there. And let's have a look at the aromas. The aromas are creamy. There may be some vanilla touches from oak, but they're not overt. They're quite restrained. Creamy, tiny touch of butterscotch. There's not a lot of there's not an open, opulent, peachy fruit or anything like that coming through. There may be a little peach, maybe a little pear fruit behind it, but it's not massively intense. It's the leesiness that's coming through from the outset. So let's have a taste, shall we? That has a really attractive combination of creaminess and then lemoniness on the front palate. There's a real vibrancy, a roundness to the fruit. The fruit is mid-weight. It's got a ripeness that actually is starting to give a little bit of peachiness to the mid-palate. The oak is not particularly obvious. There's a bit more of a minerality on the finish, a sort of maybe hints of flintiness alongside the lemony acidity. There's a lovely intensity to the mid palate of this. It's not huge, but it's got a presence. There's a depth to the flavour there, a depth and a nice ripeness, maybe slightly riper than you'd get from something from the Cotes de Beaune, more to the peachy side of things, and maybe slightly less of the lemony crispness than you'd get from there. Flavours lasting really quite nicely. The alcohol is well in balance. It's not making the finish hot. It may be adding a little roundness to the palate, but it's not standing out particularly. There aren't overt oak flavours. And in honesty, even the butteriness is being assimilated by the lovely, ripe, rounded, peachy fruit. delicate peachy fruit, but nonetheless peachy. And I suppose the finish, there's lemoniness, there's a tiny hint of blossom there. The wine's got a nice focus. The acidity is sufficient to cut through sauces really nicely. Yeah, an excellent, lively, vivacious example of Chardonnay in a very typically Burgundian style from the Maconnais. Well worth a try. Pouilly Fuisse, Vincent Girardin, Le Vieilles Vignes 2020. Do hope you found that interesting. Do please join us again. Bye now.